Hello my lovelies, good morning. Oh, it's good afternoon now. Just thought I'd come down onto the beach and see what's what. It's probably the first good day of weather that we've had this week. And I just met a chap with a dog and we got chatting as you do. And blow me down, he comes from about 3 inches away from where I used to live, in another part of the country. So it's a small world. I think that's the theme of what we're going to talk about today. It's a small world, and the people that we both knew, and the various pubs that we both knew, some of which are gone now. So I just get the sense that it being a small world and meeting up with people, which seems to be just a coincidence, it isn't. It's much more of a serendipity. So people giving you messages in a serendipitous way, that's the word. So I feel that this is about looking back on, reminiscing a little bit about my earlier years and where I actually came from, but looking at it in a much more metaphysical way is reminiscing of where we came from, our origins, so our source energy, and with the shifts and changes that are going on, some of us may feel disconnected, that we don't have a lifeline to our beginnings. So this is for us to just look back, not walk back, not focus too much energy on the past, but just to glance back a little way and remember where we actually came from. So we're going to have a little walk along the beach and see what else shows up. So I'm sure I've got a lot more to tell you. It's very quiet, little beach hut sitting there, all tucked away for the winter time. We've got some of the rooks flying around making a racket. Ooh. And a calm sea. And there, on his lonesome, is a cormorant. Just sitting there taking the air. But he's had the rooks around him, and they've been dive bombing him, but he's stood his ground. Sometimes they do have a dogfight in the air, but he's just sitting there waiting. And there we have this magnificent sky. It's a bit like sunrise or sunset, but it's just because the clouds are so low over the horizon, it spread the light out. There we go. And over in the distance, out on the horizon there, just beyond the the cliff edge. There's some ships. So even though they seem far away and like little dots on the horizon, they are still within view. They can still be seen. And the cormorant sitting there he's just observing. He's not taking any action. He's just observing. He's looking at what's going on around him. So when I talk about reminiscing and finding that connection again to our origins, it isn't just about our family origins or our ancestors. It's our true origins, our soul origins. And for some of us, there's a big question shouting itself at the moment in our minds. What am I doing here? Why am I here? Why am I in this body? Why am I in this family? Why am I on this planet? And this is the wake-up call. This is what we get when our souls are awakening. And it may throw a lot of people into chaos, because there doesn't seem to be an answer. Not logically, anyway. And as a lot of people live their lives with more of a logical, linear way of being and thinking, when that wake-up call does come, it can really throw you into a sense of chaos. Am I going mad? And finding it very difficult to share that with anybody too. Because if you've been known for a certain way of being and a certain job and a certain way of looking at life, and then that is suddenly thrown into disarray, people don't like to be labelled or for you to feel that you're possibly mentally ill. And so people keep it to themselves. And you've heard the phrase soul searching. So this is what happens when your soul calls to you to wake up. You begin soul searching. And just for you to know that you're not on your own, that there are answers, that there are solutions. So you are a being, a soul, having a physical experience, being in a physical body. And your soul knows why you are here. And it wants to share that information with you. And the journey that I've been on in this lifetime, I've continued to search my soul, I've continued to question my soul, and the answers have always shown up. And I found that the way the universe works, or the multiverse, or God, or infinite mind, when you start to ask questions of your soul, because you may have lived your life mainly in the material and with the logical mind, some of the answers will show up in a logical fashion. So it may be that you're watching a TV program, or there's an article in the Sunday mags, or you're standing in the queue at the supermarket and you hear people's conversation ahead of you. And all of those things will be telling you the same story, maybe slightly differently worded, but you will have heard it 3 times or more. And then you get that aha moment. Oh, I've heard this more than once. That seems to make sense. And then it will continue like that. And you may find that a book falls into your lap. I've been in bookshops where literally books have jumped off a shelf onto the floor, face down, but open at a certain page. And when I've picked up that book and I've looked at the words on that page, oh my goodness me, it's exactly what I needed to hear at that time, and it answers my question. So there is what is called the cosmic joke. So the cosmos, the universe, will show things to you in a light-hearted way. So your logical mind will think, nah, that can't be, no, it's not possible. But when the same thing shows up time after time after time, in a slightly different way, but with the same message, eventually your logical mind will start to accept. And you may think it's strange, you may think it's spooky. And if you share the information with others, they may think it's strange and spooky too. But your soul will continue to nudge you. And not just books will come into your life, but people who are on a similar quest. They are soul searching too. And you'll find, as you progress along this pathway, that you will meet members of your soul tribe. So we have soul contracts. So before we get here on the planet in a physical body, our soul family will get together and choose to incarnate in a certain body at a certain time, and various other members of that family, soul family, will agree that they will show up at certain stages in your life. And that's when you meet people, you just have that sense of knowing them, a familiarity, feeling comfortable with them. Some of these soul tribe or soul family may not stick around for long. It could be 10 minutes, or it could be a lifetime. So a contract can be fulfilled in just 10 minutes. And when you start to ask your soul, the universe, infinite mind, to show you in a physical way what it is you're asking, what it is you need to know, there will be a delivery made to you in some shape or form. And as we go through different stages in our lives, in a way it's like an initiation. So we go up the ladder in a way, we learn things, we practice them, we enjoy them, and after a while you lose that sense of enjoyment. You no longer practice them and they fall away. And that can happen with not just the things that you enjoy doing, but the people that you enjoy being with. You will reach a stage in your life development, your soul development, where you no longer enjoy the company of certain people. You no longer enjoy the work that you're doing. You no longer enjoy living in a certain place. And that's a big sign for you to say, well done, you've graduated, it's time to move on. Change is part of life. When we resist change, that's when we can become unwell, diseased, creaky joints, memory loss, all those sorts of things, because we're resisting what our soul wishes to bring to us. A new experience. I used to live in London many, many years ago, and I lasted 10 years. I went to work there and live there because that's what I thought I should do. My sister had done the same. My father had worked there, and it was the thing to do. I hated it. I loathed it. It was noisy and smelly and fast. But I went there because it was expected of me. It is what the family did. You could make good money. So I had a 10-year life experience. I learned many things. I experienced many, many things. And then my soul gave me a nudge. Get the hell out of there, Amanda. It's time to move on. And so when I did pack everything up and move away, everything fell into place. All of the steps that I needed to take, everything fell into place. Because I no longer resisted that change. It was like the cork coming out of the genie's bottle. Everything had been lined up. The universe had lined up where to live, what job to get, what vehicle to get, new friendships to make. Boom, boom, boom. Easy peasy. But that wasn't the end of it. So after another period of time, learning new things, meeting new people, living in a certain place, there was yet another nudge. So again, I upped sticks, and again everything fell into place. So if a part of you is longing for change, but your human self, your logical self, is fearful or anxious, or can't figure out how on earth am I going to do it, then let your soul guide you. Because there's already a blueprint, there's already a plan of action, everything is in place waiting for you, just to take the first step. It's about trusting your higher self, trusting your soul, trusting your guides, trusting your soul tribe to bring to you those things that your soul has signed up to do. It is a huge adventure. It can be very scary, but there again it can be absolutely exhilarating. As you widen your horizons, as your knowledge expands, you start to feel alive. As my grandmother said, there are a lot of people who have died but haven't been buried yet. Now, I've got a little visitor here. Hello, baby. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, hello. Yeah, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. It's in my pocket. Just a minute. I know. It's here. Yeah, I know. It's in my pocket, baby. Oh, yes, we do. Sit. May I? May I? May I? Thank you, darling. Ooh. What just one? They've got to share them out to the other doggies. Yes, it's lovely to meet you too. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good nose. That's a good nose. There you go, baby. There you are. Hi. Thank you very much. Hi. Yes. Hi. So, ooh, see what the universe sends to you, eh? The universe sends you little messages. Now that, oh, look at that sky. Look at that sky. Oh, isn't that just fandabby-doorsy? Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. As my stepfather would say, das ist ein kleines Stück von Himmel, which in German means a little bit of heaven. Ein kleines Stück von Himmel, a little bit of heaven. Oh, I'm sharing a little bit of heaven with you today. So the black dog showing up, that's very interesting. There's a black Labrador called Coco. You could smell the doggy treats I've got in my pocket because I've always got doggy treats in my pocket. And over the last couple of days, I've had a big black dog on my shoulder, which means, have you ever heard of Winston Churchill's black dog? It's when the glooms descend upon you for no apparent reason. You just feel very gloomy and low and can't pick yourself up. So that lovely black Labrador coming to greet me is a sign that the black dog has moved away, and the black dog is actually friendly. There's nothing to be feared. Nothing to worry about. I gave the black dog a little biscuit, a gravy biscuit. And so I fed it. And it happily left, it happily went away. I do love how the universe works. Before I came out to film this, I was nudged to put some doggy treats in my pocket. So, dogs have very good noses. Notice the cormorant's gone. He's actually floating on the waves over there. I think maybe the dog frightened him off. I can feel the warmth from the sun. It's just a heavenly feeling of that light upon me, shining on the waters. There's beautiful sparkles on the waters. Reminds me of a song Kermit sang. It isn't easy being green. It isn't easy being green, having to spend the day the colour of the leaves, when it might be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colourful like that. It's not easy being green. People tend to pass you over. It's not easy being green, having to spend each day the colour of the leaves, when I think it might be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colourful like that. It's not easy being green. People tend to pass you over, 'cause you're not standing out like sparkles on the water or stars in the sky. But green is the colour of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. If green is all there is to be, then it makes me wonder, but why wonder, why wonder? I am green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful, and I think it's what I want to be. Ooh.